Hello, Steve White, Steve R29. Well, this is a shocker. Apparently, the new Spider-Man film, Brand New Day, isn't having any IMAX theaters when it's released. Now, apparently IMAX is a thing for the box office. I know this IMAX is everywhere. We've got one in Melbourne. It's one of the biggest ones in the world. But frankly, if they're showing IMAX films where they use the whole square screen, it is an experience. But if you're just watching a regular film, it's really no different from sitting at the front of the cinema where the screen looks proportionally just as big. It's really nothing. I remember going to IMAX with some friends. They sat in the back of the IMAX theater, and it was the same as sitting in a regular theater. Normally, when I go, I sit in literally the front row, and there's nothing ahead of me to put my feet on. So I get the full experience when I'm there. But for most people who sit further back, because that sells out first, it's just like going to the regular cinema. And people are really being conned on the whole, go to the IMAX, it's bigger and better. I'm like, no, just go to the regular cinema, sit closer, you're fine. So I never got the IMAX thing. I only went when it was something that wasn't screening somewhere else. I think the 3D Jurassic Park was one of the last things I went there for. Because I think it was converted into 3D, wasn't it? I think that's what I went for. And then I stayed for the midnight screening of the Suicide Squad, because I bumped into some people in cosplay that I knew from conventions, and they're like, I can't get home. The last tram's in an hour, so and he's like, no, we'll give you a lift home, and I got a lift home from a guy dressed as 1989 Batman. I felt like Kim Basinger in the car. I'm just looking at him like, this is surreal. Yeah, so I'm not really sure if this is a smart move. They're giving it all to the Odyssey, and I'm like, what the is the Odyssey? Seriously, I know it was a book, and apparently everyone in the US had to read it in high school, but I haven't never really heard of it. I know there was no, that's Ulysses. That was the cartoon based on something. I don't even know what the Odyssey is. Do people know what the Odyssey is? Who's going to go see the Odyssey just because Christopher Nolan made it? Hasn't he had flops? Hasn't he had films? He doesn't have a perfect track record. And we all know Oppenheimer only made money because of Barbenheimer. No one actually was going to go see that film on its own. They just went to do this weird comparison thing of this high art, pretentious thing most people wouldn't have seen versus this, surreal, candy-coloured pop culture sort of explosion that was Barbie. That film would not have been successful if it weren't for Barbenheimer. I know Christopher Nolan and his fans think it's the other way around, but it's not. That's why Barbie made over $1 billion and his didn't. Because not everyone who went to see Barbie went to see Oppenheimer, but I think everyone who saw Oppenheimer saw it because of Barbie. But so I just can't believe they're prioritizing this unproven, in theory, everyone's read it, so everyone's going to go see it, adaptation of some long, boring-ass book. They're prioritizing that based on Christopher Nolan's name and prestige over a proven franchise like Spider-Man. Every film has been a hit. The fourth film is going to be a hit. There's no way it's not going to. And maybe that's the problem. They're thinking, he doesn't have to have, Spider-Man doesn't need IMAX screens. He'll do fine. I'm like, oh, okay. Just, pull his legs out from under him and see how well he does. Okay. So not really happy about that. Because Nolan's got the whole month. And normally a film like that would get 2 weeks, and then they'd be spaced out so you could have 2 weeks in IMAX, and then the next big film gets all the IMAX screens for its opening. But he got the whole month, and I'm guessing that was a deliberate attack on Spider-Man, where he said to IMAX, I'm not going to give you this film, even though it was made for you, made with you, unless you give me the whole month, because I need to cut Spider-Man's legs out from under him. I think they should move Spider-Man, honestly, to where they can get away from Christopher Nolan and get the screens. But they're not going to because of ego. So he's going to stay there with no screens. And a lot of people are saying, Dolby's good enough. That sounds better with Dolby. I'd rather have Dolby. So as long as he gets all the Dolby screens, he'll be fine. I'm like, why would you take that risk? Well, it's not going to make as much money as the other films. I don't believe it's going to, because not just the people who want to see it in IMAX because they've been conned into thinking it's better and it's some sort of unique experience with a regular film when it's not. IMAX specific films, yes, but regular films that are just take up half the screen the IMAX screen has and the rest of it's just black, no. Those people, are probably not going to see it. And, you know, then there's just the fact that IMAX costs more. So every person who sees an IMAX pays more than... So even if the same people see it, just the fact that, you know, millions of them won't be seeing it in the IMAX screens, they're going to make less money out of it. So I'm surprised they're letting it stand. I can see how it happened, where they assumed they'd get 2 weeks and Nolan will get 2 weeks, and that's how they planned it when they were scheduling it. Then Nolan's like, no, I want the whole month. I'm going to make them hold the screens, and even if no one's in the cinema, because everyone saw the film first week, said, wow, it's Christopher Nolan, it's a legendary book, but it sucks, it's boring, and no one came back the second week, they're still going to have 3 more weeks of the film screening in IMAX screens to empty theatres. We've seen that before, but in the past, the theatres seem to have had some sort of out clause where they've been like, yeah, no one's watching this, we're going to give the screens now to this next thing that's coming up that might be a hit. I know that's happened before. I can't remember what films, there was a big drama about it. But yeah, shock Spider-Man is being screwed over and he's taking it. Yeah, we'll see. I'm going to go for free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. And I keep going over my 5. Normally I try and keep my videos to 5 minutes and change. So it says 5 minutes and then whatever when it appears. But I keep talking over. It's partly because from this angle I can't see. That's better. I can't see the actual time because there's a bunch of light objects that look the same color as the text on the camera. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comments. Did I already say that? I don't know. I say it so much. I say it every time I make a video. I'm just waffling and rambling and drifting off now.